Lottery winners often experience a dramatic shift in social dynamics, with newfound wealth altering relationships and community perceptions. This case demonstrates how sudden financial windfalls can create vulnerabilities, as the winner became a prominent local figure overnight. The transition from celebration to betrayal followed a common pattern, where trust was exploited through financial schemes. Such schemes typically involve leveraging community trust and local fame to solicit further investments or participation. The psychological impact on communities when a trusted member engages in betrayal can be profound and long-lasting. This pattern mirrors other financial betrayal cases, where initial legitimate success creates credibility for subsequent fraudulent activities. The dismantling of community trust represents a social cost that often outweighs the financial losses in such cases. These events highlight how sudden wealth can create both opportunity and vulnerability within established social networks. Lottery wins in small communities create unique social dynamics beyond just financial change. The winner's newfound wealth represented not just personal fortune, but also a form of community capital. This social capital, built on trust and goodwill, can be as valuable as the monetary prize itself. In tight-knit settings, public celebration often transforms private individuals into public figures overnight. The transition from ordinary citizen to local celebrity involves significant psychological and social adjustments. Financial windfalls in community contexts create complex webs of expectation, obligation, and changed relationships. This case demonstrates how sudden wealth acquisition operates within established social structures rather than outside them. The celebration phase represents only the initial chapter in what becomes a multifaceted community narrative. The lottery win was substantial, confirmed by public records from a small town. The winner opted for a lump sum payment, a common choice that provides immediate access to funds. Local media coverage followed, a typical pattern for such events in close-knit communities. This public attention established the winner's identity and new financial status within the community. The position mentioned earlier was not for charitable purposes. Instead, it set the stage for a financial maneuver that would exploit the trust this status afforded. Such schemes often rely on the credibility and access gained from a legitimate public profile. The transition from local celebrity to a figure involved in high-stakes finance marks a critical pivot point. This sudden windfall transformed the individual from an ordinary community member into a figure of perceived financial acumen and luck. Such a rapid change in fortune can alter social dynamics, creating an aura of credibility around the winner. Following the win, the individual began promoting a specific investment opportunity to their social circle. The pitch was made to friends, local business owners, and acquaintances within the community. The proposal centered on pooling community resources to invest in a single, larger venture. This opportunity was presented not as a risk, but as a chance for a much larger, guaranteed financial return. The guarantee of returns is a common feature in schemes that rely on trust rather than verifiable financial mechanisms. This pattern leverages the winner's new social capital to bypass normal skepticism. The winner's credibility, backed by their visible jackpot, was the primary asset used to solicit funds. This is a common pattern in financial fraud, where visible success is used to build trust and attract investment. The promised investment was not in traditional markets like stocks or bonds. Investigations and civil lawsuits later described it as a scheme to purchase additional lottery tickets on a massive scale. Alternatively, it was described as funding a system purportedly designed to legally exploit lottery games. This represents a specific type of investment fraud, where capital is funneled into a high-risk, non-standard venture with dubious returns. The mechanism relies on the initial, legitimate win to create an illusion of expertise and access. Such schemes often collapse when the promised system fails to generate the advertised returns, or when new investor funds are needed to sustain the illusion. The scheme was presented as a sophisticated, high-volume investment opportunity, requiring pooled capital from multiple participants. This pooling mechanism allowed the operation to scale beyond what individual investors could achieve alone, similar to certain investment funds. Dozens of community members contributed, reportedly amassing hundreds of thousands of dollars in total capital. Such community-based financial arrangements can create significant collective risk when managed improperly. The scheme ultimately failed, resulting in the complete loss of all pooled funds. This pattern of collapse follows a common trajectory in financial schemes, where promised returns failed to materialize. The loss affected all participants who had contributed to the pooled capital arrangement. Financial collapses of this nature demonstrate how pooled investment structures can concentrate rather than mitigate risk. The financial outcome was starkly different from expectations, with no substantial return on the investment. The winner's personal fortune, originally derived from the jackpot, was significantly reduced through this business venture and related expenditures. This depletion followed a common pattern, where sudden wealth is eroded by high-risk investments and unchecked spending. The aftermath of these financial losses led directly to legal actions being initiated. Such legal follow-ups are a standard mechanism in cases involving significant financial disputes or alleged mismanagement. The sequence from investment loss to litigation illustrates a documented cycle in high-stakes financial scenarios. The legal aftermath unfolded through civil suits for fraud and repayment, filed by multiple investors. These suits represent a common pattern in financial disputes, where investors seek restitution through the civil court system. The individual who emerged victorious faced severe social ostracization from the community. This outcome transformed the winner into a figure of resentment rather than admiration, a documented social phenomenon following contentious disputes. The community itself was left fractured by the events. Significant personal savings were erased for many involved, a direct financial consequence of the conflict. Beyond finances, personal relationships were broken, illustrating how such disputes can extend beyond courtrooms into the fabric of daily life. This combination of legal action, social fallout, financial loss, and relational damage represents a comprehensive breakdown, often analyzed in case studies of community conflicts. The precise internal motivations driving the winner remain unclear, despite common assumptions about greed or pressure. Psychological profiling in such cases often relies on inference rather than definitive clinical assessment. The exact legal classification of the scheme, if it was formally pursued in criminal court, lacks widespread verification. This creates a gap between public perception and the established, documented facts of the case. It highlights a common pattern in complex investigations, where certain details remain officially unconfirmed. Understanding these limits is crucial for separating credible analysis from speculation. The financial aftermath of sudden wealth often follows predictable patterns, not mystical forces. This pattern is observed in many cases where individuals receive large sums without financial planning experience. The mechanisms involve pressure from family, friends, and investment opportunities that may not be sound. Comparisons to other windfall recipients show similar outcomes when professional guidance is absent. The tragedy resulted from specific decisions about spending, lending, and investment allocation. This contrasts with the popular narrative that attributes such outcomes to supernatural curses. The pattern demonstrates how human psychology and social dynamics can lead to predictable financial outcomes. Understanding these mechanisms provides a more accurate framework than supernatural explanations. The winner's actions were not those of a criminal mastermind, but rather a combination of desperation and grandiosity. This behavior stemmed from a deeply flawed understanding of investment principles and probability. The case demonstrates how desperation can override rational decision-making, leading to reckless financial gambles. This serves as a stark lesson about the non-monetary currency of trust within communities. The winner traded a finite resource, community goodwill, for a high-risk financial venture. Such patterns appear in various financial scandals, where social capital is sacrificed for questionable gains. The mechanism involves misjudging probability, while overestimating one's ability to beat the odds. This case illustrates how grandiosity can blind individuals to the reality of their situations. This pattern highlights a critical danger: conflating luck with expertise. A lottery win, while life-changing, does not confer financial management credentials. From a practical standpoint, any investment promising guaranteed high returns should raise immediate suspicion. This is especially true when such promises are tied to games of chance or speculative ventures. Such offers often function as profound red flags, signaling potential scams or unsustainable schemes. The mechanism is simple: exploiting the human tendency to see patterns in randomness and mistake fortune for skill. This cognitive bias can lead individuals and communities to make disastrous financial decisions. Recognizing this distinction between luck and proven expertise is a fundamental safeguard. The sudden wealth from a lottery win creates intense social pressure on winners. This pressure can lead to isolation, as winners are treated differently by their community. Isolated and under pressure, some winners make irrational financial decisions to prove their luck wasn't a fluke. This behavior is a documented psychological pattern, where individuals feel compelled to legitimize unexpected windfalls. The deeper betrayal occurs when this vulnerability is exploited. Scammers and bad actors often target lottery winners, capitalizing on the community's shared hope for a repeat miracle. The loss extends beyond money to the exploitation of a collective, optimistic belief in sudden change. This dynamic mirrors other documented cases where community trust is leveraged for financial gain, leaving lasting damage.